The conflict between Israel and Iran has intensified significantly since Friday, June 13, 2025, marking an unprecedented period of direct military confrontation. As of Tuesday, June 17, 2025, the situation remains highly volatile with continued strikes, rising casualties, and urgent international appeals for de-escalation that have so far yielded little effect. Escalating hostilities and casualties. Direct missile and drone barrages. Both Israel and Iran are launching direct missile and drone attacks at each other's territories. Iranian strikes on Israel. Iran has launched multiple waves of ballistic missiles and drones. Targets have included central Israel, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, and northern Israel, Haifa, Bat Yam, Tamra. An Iranian missile strike in central Israel reportedly killed 2 people and injured 19. A major oil refinery in Haifa was among the targets hit by Iranian missiles. Overall, at least 24 people have been killed and over 590 wounded in Israel due to Iranian attacks since the conflict began. Israeli strikes on Iran. Israel has conducted a major aerial campaign across Iran, code-named Operation Rising Lion, targeting nuclear and military facilities, key nuclear sites, e.g., Natanz, Isfahan's uranium conversion facility, missile complexes, military bases, including air bases critical to drone and missile operations, and IRGC facilities. Leadership targets. Israeli strikes have reportedly killed several top Iranian military leaders, including the intelligence chief of Iran's Revolutionary Guards, General Mohammad Kazemi, and other senior IRGC and Quds Force officials. Civilian infrastructure. Reports indicate strikes on residential areas and public infrastructure. Iran's health ministry has reported 224 killed and 1,481 wounded, with the majority being civilians. State media targeted. Israeli forces reportedly bombed the headquarters of Iranian state TV, IRINN, in Tehran, briefly knocking it off air during a live broadcast. Israel claims the building was used by the Iranian armed forces under the guise of civilian activity. Alleged Mossad factory. Iran claims to have uncovered and shut down an alleged Mossad-linked drone manufacturing site in Tehran, arresting 2 individuals. International reaction and diplomatic efforts. Calls for de-escalation. The international community, including the UN Secretary-General, France, President Macron, Germany, and Britain, has urgently called for an end to the strikes and de-escalation. Macron specifically called for an end to strikes against civilians in both countries. US stance. President Trump has warned residents of Tehran to evacuate and stated the US could get involved as a mediator, even suggesting that if a ceasefire could be achieved, that's a very good thing. He has also urged Iran to agree to a deal, saying they are not winning this war. However, the US has reportedly refused to back a proposed G7 statement explicitly urging Iran and Israel to de-escalate their conflict, with Trump's public statements being deemed sufficient by the White House. Trump is also leaving the G7 summit early due to the escalating Middle East crisis. The Pentagon has announced plans to reinforce the US military presence in West Asia, with 43,000 US troops reportedly on high alert. The White House states US forces remain in a defensive posture in the Middle East. China's warning. China's embassy in Israel has urged its citizens to leave the country as soon as possible via land border crossings, citing the deteriorating security situation and increasing civilian casualties. India's response. Indian embassies in Tehran and Tel Aviv are taking steps to protect nationals, monitoring the situation, and facilitating relocation for students. Some Indian students from Jammu and Kashmir and Karnataka are reportedly stranded in Iran and being evacuated to safer cities within the country. Nuclear talks halted. Iran has called off nuclear talks with Washington, which was seen as a potential off-ramp, stating it will not attend as long as Israel's attacks continue. Other key developments. Houthi involvement. Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels have continued to launch ballistic missiles at Israel in coordinated attacks with Iran and are reportedly considering resuming strikes on U.S. targets in the Middle East. Economic impact. Crude oil prices have seen volatility, surging initially due to heightened tensions and concerns about disruptions to global oil supply via the Strait of Hormuz, though there have been some pullbacks. Gold prices have also reacted to the developments. Netanyahu's stance. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated that killing Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei would end the conflict, though U.S. officials had reportedly vetoed an earlier plan to assassinate him. Netanyahu emphasizes that Israel's goal is to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons and to degrade its military capabilities. The conflict marks a dramatic shift from the long-standing shadow war to overt, direct military confrontation, with global leaders expressing deep concern about the potential for wider regional conflict.